After an afternoon playing video games, it is time to take a break and watch TV. And you will be happy to hear that your favorite characters followed you on television. You won't get to control them this time, but this is what makes the story even more surprising. Will your favorite game be a part of our list? If this is your first time visiting our channel, don't forget to subscribe and please give this video a big thumbs up. Sit back as we show you the 10 video games that became cartoons. Angry Birds. Since 2009, we've been shooting birds on fortresses to save their eggs from green-colored pigs. This doesn't make much sense, but when you don't ask too many questions, this is a really fun game to play. Some birds had different powers, as the black bird could make everything blow up, the yellow one could speed up, and the blue could split into 3 separated birds. But how can we turn this into a cartoon? In the new movie, the Angry Birds movie, we understood the reason why the birds were so angry. Every bird used to be happy on the island until the pigs came and stole their eggs. Red, who had a temper issue, decided to do something about it. He told everyone to stop being so nice and fight for what they want. This is how the birds discovered their reaction could become a superpower if they used it in the best way. Even the greatest hero gets a little angry sometimes. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you want more, you can also watch them on television. Angry Bird Toons is a TV series based on the game, but there's also a stop-motion animated series called Piggy Tales, and another series, Angry Birds Stella, telling the stories of Stella's life. The fans can't get enough of these birds, and neither do we. Mario Brothers. This video game franchise is probably the most popular of all time. Mario first appeared in Donkey Kong in 1981, originally known as Jumpman. And since that day, we had the chance to see him in more than 200 video games as the protagonist, the mean guy, or the supporting character. Mario used to be a carpenter, but now he's always risking his life to save Princess Peach, who has been kidnapped once again by Bowser. But what is he up to as a cartoon? Our favorite video game character was actually part of 6 television shows, but Super Mario World is probably the most memorable. In this universe based on the game, Mario, Luigi, and the Princess Toadstool lived in Dinosaur Land. As usual, the princess was kidnapped by King Koopa, but the story was more focused on a little green creature. Luigi found Yoshi and decided to raise him as a pet. The TV series was full of surprises, and what we loved the most was seeing all these references to the video game. The 2 brothers had to face the same monsters and escaped in the tubes. But no matter what happened, Yoshi was always there to save the situation by eating everything because he was too hungry. But we have to admit that only the video games were good enough to stay in our hearts forever. Sonic the Hedgehog. Since 1991, the Hedgehog has been the fastest thing alive. With his friends Amy, Tails, and Knuckles, he sped around the planet to battle injustice and Dr. Eggman. Sonic loved living a peaceful life, but he was always interrupted by the main antagonist and had to save the world one more time. And luckily for us, we had the chance to sit back and relax as we were watching his animated TV series. Sonic was part of 6 television shows, the most recent one being Sonic Boom in 2014. In the show, the character and his friends tried to stop Dr. Eggman, who wanted to take over an island. There was a lot of action with all the battles, but also a lot of fun. Their plan often failed, but this is what made us laugh even more. We never got the time to know the Hedgehog because he was always running away so fast, but Sonic Boom gave us the chance to know more about Sonic's personality and his friends. The show lasted for 2 seasons and more than 100 episodes, but there could be a 3rd season coming soon. If you want to see more of Sonic the Hedgehog while you wait, he is really active on social media. Now that he has time to take a break, you can follow him on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This animal is fast when it comes to the trends of 2017. Carmen Sandiego. Since the 1980s, we had the chance to follow Carmen Sandiego all around the world with the series of educational video games. We learned many things about different cultures as we solved mysteries. And if you didn't have a computer or your brother was using it, you still had the chance to find her on television. The character was first part of 2 game shows for children, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? And then Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego? Kids were asked questions about geography and history. But if you just wanted to sit back and relax, you could also watch an animated TV series from 1994 to 1999, Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego? Once again, she stole landmarks. The show's primary goal was to teach kids about geography and world culture. And you could see even more of Carmen Sandiego soon. In 2017, Netflix bought the rights with the intention of producing a new animated series. We will get the chance to know who is Carmen Sandiego and why she decided to become a super thief. The show will premiere in 2019, so we will have time to prepare ourselves to go on a new adventure with her. Donkey Kong. The first Donkey Kong was an arcade game released by Nintendo in 1981. Mario had to save a damsel in distress who had been kidnapped by the ape. The video games were so successful that these two characters had the chance to be the heroes of their own video games. At that time, if your mom confiscated your video game console, you also had the chance to watch him on TV. Donkey Kong Country was not only a video game, but also a TV series from 1997 to 2000. In this computer-generated rendition of the classic game, the ape lived on an island with his sidekick Diddy Kong. It was funny to see that Donkey Kong wasn't too smart, but he was still the strongest gorilla thanks to his diet of bananas. Together, the two friends tried to protect the crystal coconut, as King K. Rool was always trying to steal it. The biggest challenge he had to face was trying not to be distracted by the luscious Candy Kong. Nothing was to be taken too seriously, but we loved that it reminded us of one of our favorite video games. There was also a lot of catchy songs that were stuck in our heads. The show was a big hit in Japan, and it only aired briefly in the United States. The Legend of Zelda. This fantasy action-adventure video game series was first published in 1986, but you can now find almost 20 games on Nintendo's major game consoles. Link, the hero of the story, was often given the task of rescuing Princess Zelda and saving her kingdom. Players had the chance to explore his fantastic universe, solve puzzles, and fight. And if they wanted to discover even more things, they could also watch the cartoon based on the video game. The Legend of Zelda was a 13-episode animated TV series that aired in 1989. It was aired on Friday instead of the Super Mario Bros. TV series that aired during the rest of the week. Link and Princess Zelda were trying to protect the Triforce of Wisdom from falling into the hands of Ganon. We loved getting to know the princess, as we rarely saw her in the original video game. But unfortunately, Link was not a gentleman anymore. The hero who used to be brave and courageous was turned into an annoying man who just wanted Zelda to kiss him. This is part of the reasons why The Legends of Zelda lasted for only one season. So the cartoon was not a success, but things could get better. There's a rumor that Netflix might be working on a live-action TV series based on Zelda. No one has much information about this, but we hope that Link will get another chance to be a part of a TV show. It can only get better. Digimon. The franchise was first created in 1997, inspired by the Tamagotchis. The virtual pets were monsters living in the digital world, a parallel universe that was created from Earth's communication networks. This is where the title came from, digital monsters. The Digimons teamed up with the humans to save their world from villains. First designed to be cute, these little monsters quickly ended up being created with a harder edge so they would be ready to fight. But which came first, the video game Digimon World or the cartoon Digimon Adventure? Actually, they were both released in 1999. Creators were so confident their Japanese media franchise would work, they didn't mind investing a lot of money in this idea. And they were right to do so. The video game series expanded into genres like fighting, role-playing, and racing, but the animated TV series was even more popular. 7 kids were transported into an alternate universe, the Digi World. This is where they became friends with the little creatures and helped them digivolve. The more they got to know this world, the more they realized that the Digimons were the only ones who could save both their world and also ours. The show ended in 2003, but it will stay in our memories forever as one of our favorite animated series from our childhood. Raving Rabbids. The Raving Rabbids were a video game franchise spin-off of the Rayman series. First published in 2006, it consisted mainly of party games, but also platform games and fighting games. The best way to describe them is their French name that means idiot rabbits. These crazy little creatures like to cause havoc and mischief, always hurting themselves or failing to do something. This is why they were the perfect characters for an animated TV series. The show premiered on Nickelodeon in 2013. 78 7-minute CG animated episodes were created, and they were broadcast as 26 half-hour episodes called The Rabbids Invasion. The idea was pretty simple. The rabbits explored Earth and discovered new things. But what we loved about them is that they managed to turn any situation into something crazy. They could be mean-spirited against each other, but we knew that they were just acting like children. Fans of physical comedy loved the show, and even adults liked it as the humor could be enjoyed on many levels. The hit TV show was so popular that Ubisoft even made a video game based on it. Rabbids Invasion, the interactive TV show. So the video game inspired the cartoon, and then the TV show inspired the video game. Kids are going crazy for these funny rabbits. Pac-Man. This was one of the first video games ever created in the 1980s. It became a huge hit, selling 100,000 units in its first year. The game was simple but addictive. A little character had to eat all the dots in the maze before the ghost could catch him. The creators quickly began making the game more entertaining by adding characters, multiple mazes, moving fruits, and a faster gameplay. The game was so popular that in 1982, it was already on television. Pac-Man was a top-rated cartoon in the United States at the time. Pac-Man and his family would be menaced by the ghosts, and one of them would chomp power pills and save the day. The song Pac-Man Fever also sold over 1 million copies at that time. Since that TV series was so successful, Pac-Man also inspired another animated series decades later in 2013, Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventure. In this new story, Pac-Man saved the world from ghosts with his friends Spiral and Siley. Unfortunately, it wasn't really popular, but that didn't mean that the character didn't deserve another chance. The video game based on the cartoon was more successful. Almost 40 years after its creation, the yellow character is still more popular than ever. Pac-Man was awarded the Guinness World Record as the most successful coin-operated game. The cartoon wasn't so popular, but no matter what, we loved having more and more of Pac-Man. Pokémon. Ash wanted to be the very best like no one ever was, and we can say that he succeeded. The franchise began with video games for the original Game Boy in 1996. The name was a contraction of Pocket Monsters, as Pokémon trainers could carry these little creatures anywhere they went and be ready to fight. The games were extremely popular from the start and inspired a cartoon a year after in 1997. In the animated TV series, Ash aspired to be the greatest Pokémon trainer in the world. But he still had a lot of work to do, becoming friends with the first Pokémon Pikachu. With the help of his new friends Brock and Misty, he traveled the world to catch more little monsters and train them so they could win battles. But so many people wanted to be the best too, so Ash had to face many enemies, like the Team Rocket. With almost 1,000 episodes, the TV series is still not over yet with Pokémon Sun and Moon. And if you want more, there are also trading card games, movies, comic books, toys, and the new Pokémon Go, so you can play on your smartphone. Pokémon is now the second best-selling video game franchise right after Mario Bros., all thanks to the animated TV series that was so successful. And that's it for 10 video games that became cartoons. Do you remember watching any of these shows? Tell us in the comment section down below what was your favorite. And for more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to The Things and watch 10 kids cartoon characters reimagined as adults. Thanks for watching.